And joining us right now on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, ladies and gentlemen, you know him from YouTube, you know him from social media, you know him from MLB Streaming Squad, the Stream Squad, Iron Pigs, Influencer, TikTok, YouTube, everything under the sun. Here he is right now. If you can follow him on Twitter, go ahead and do that. Do yourself a favor. Shelfy joins us. Shelfy, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother? Long time coming, hopping on here.
Really, you ain't kidding. It's an honor. It really is. I've admired your stuff from afar for a long time, but I do have a pretty big audience that came over with me from the linear world that have no idea that this YouTube digital world exists. And you are not only surviving, you are thriving, my friend, on this side of the world here. Go ahead and explain to everybody with the gaming that you do, the Iron Pigs involvement, everything. What is it? The Office Space question. What is it you say you do here? What do you do here with all your stuff?
I usually use the gaming thing more as like a trampoline, as an example. I consider myself a freelance content creator. I make content on all kinds of social media pages. It originally started with me just making videos and content for fun when I was in school to actually get a normal job at one point. But then once it took off and it started to do well, it ended up turning into just me making content for a living. And now I pretty much just run like a content business, essentially. So I work for myself now, but I also work freelance for, like you said, Major League Baseball's reached out. It's been a wild couple of years. So things are going great.
And I'm sure, and I do love that hat. The John hat is fantastic. I have one of those in one of my closets of swag and stuff. But that is a great hat, and I love it to wear. Now you're a local guy here. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Southwest, 67th Street.
Oh, Southwest Philly guy.
Yeah,
okay.
Southwest Philly guy. Yeah,
Very nice.
We moved when I was 12. My dad got a promotion. He was working at Bank of America when I was younger. He got a promotion, started working in Wilmington, Delaware. So we moved to Delaware when I was in middle school.
Gotcha.
I was in Philly all grown up.
Okay, see, that's the other thing that I find acceptable. The South Jersey influence. It's just a matter of time. It's like all my friends in not Southwest, but just South Philly in general. It's like we hit a certain age, Dad got a promotion, and now we live in Washington Township. Like that's the kind of the way it works.
My cousins moved to South Jersey right before I moved to Delaware, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
What is it like? It's funny you said go to school for a real job. I still get asked questions from people that are looking to get in any form of broadcasting, and they talk to me about a cover letter. And I look at them and I go, I don't think I've ever made a cover letter. Like, what is even a cover letter anymore? Is it just like everything under here is why you should hire me? Like, what is it?
It's crazy to think, like, at this point, it's wild to say it, but like your follower count in a lot of ways can be your cover letter. Like your work, people are using the internet as their resume nowadays. Like that's how they're getting out there. It's kind of hard to get into this industry by the book nowadays, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, I'm not in the field. I can't speak for other people, but it seems like, building yourself up individually is like the fastest way to get yourself going.
100%. When I tell people, and I've told them this for the last couple of years, and then I applied this own, I took my own advice. I hired myself. Like that's what you could do now. You just hire yourself, and that's how you put yourself out there. It used to be you got to go to college, all that stuff, and you should do that. It's all great. But it used to be like make a website and put your resume on it. Yeah. Now it's like videos, demo reels, gaming, anything streaming, live streaming, whatever it might be, and that's where people are really absorbing this content. Let me ask you this: when did you feel like, oh wow, this is really going to take off, or this is really starting to hit a stride? When did that happen for you?
When my son was born, like right in that time period, which was like right before COVID, I was already starting to consider going after it full time just because finances were starting to pick up. But when COVID happened, and I think everyone was kind of locked inside, just streaming in general kind of took off. Like Twitch became more popular. YouTube dumped millions of dollars into their streaming services, and it just kind of became normal. It kind of became more normalized. Like you even mentioned, like creating your own website. I remember when I first started getting into this in like 2016, 2017, there was people telling me to make my own website to like promote my stuff. Like make your own website, use that to centralize all your content. And now it's like I can use Twitter for that. Like I can use Instagram for that. Like that's even an outdated thing now. Everything's moved so fast the last couple of years. But I'd say quarantine was when everything became normalized, and at that point is when I was like, all right, I gotta go for it.
Yeah, we started living in a 100% virtual world. No question about that. To see your parents, you had to jump on Zoom or whatever.
Yep.
Along those lines, how do you explain to like older members of your family during get-togethers when you're trying to explain to them like it's not a TV show, but it's a streaming, so it's a streaming thing. How do you explain your line of work to that older generation?
It's difficult. If I'm being completely honest with you,
Are you on CNN?
Well, the first question they always ask is, well, how do you get paid? And they just don't understand ad revenue. They do not understand how like sponsor stuff, like they don't understand that stuff. Like they don't understand that ad revenue, like the same way you watch a commercial on television, right? Every couple of minutes on TV, there's a couple commercials that run, and that's where all the money comes from when you're on these networks. On YouTube, that ad that runs every 6 to 7 minutes, that's where the money gets generated. And I technically get paid by Google every month because they own YouTube. So
there you go.
That's where the money comes from. That's usually where the conversation goes.
Take that, Google. Yeah, pay me. Anyway, that's wild, man. So obviously a Philly guy through and through. When it comes to this Phillies baseball season, because I know you're a big baseball fan, obviously, when you think about this lineup and what this lineup can do down the line, not right now, but down the line, consistently, as we're seeing inconsistency right now, what are you expecting from this Phillies lineup 1 through 9?
Playoffs. I'm expecting the playoffs out of this off, especially with them adding a playoff team. You open a playoff slot. We're over the luxury tax for the first time. I've already felt it a little bit the first couple games of the season. The confidence, there's like a different confidence level with the team. Even when they blew that lead with Oakland on opening day, it just felt like we weren't done scoring. It never feels like we're done scoring. We've already been shut out once this year, and I'm not concerned at all about us scoring runs. The biggest thing, though, is that these are veteran guys. Like Nick Castellanos wants to win. The guy's been around the block. He's never been on a winner, but he wants to win. Kyle Schwarber's won a World Series. Bryce Harper's won 2 MVPs. It just feels like from top to bottom, we're like not just good, but it seems like we have edgy guys that want to win. And I'm not concerned. I think this is the type of lineup that's going to progressively get better as the season goes on, because they're going to start getting, they have guys that I think are going to turn it up as the season goes on.
Full disclosure for our audience, at the time we're taping this, the Phillies are playing their first game of their 4-game set against the Marlins, first game of a 7-game road trip, as a matter of fact. At this point in time, how optimistic are you for a guy like Bryson Stott to not just crack it to the big league roster, but also be in the starting lineup as many times as he already has this season?
Well, like you said, he already has. They're giving him an opportunity to. We slapped the ball around everywhere last season. So I think it's a good thing, though, that he's getting down to Miami. May not see the best pitching in the world here on this road trip. So get him in the lineup as early and as often as you can. He's someone who uses all fields. You know, he'll go the other way, not just on those away pitches. He'll get his hands inside and use all fields on all 4 corners. He's a really good hitter, but he's someone who's probably going to need some seasoning and to see some guys once or twice, especially within the NL East. So just keep feeding him at bats. I think he's going to do just fine. He's got a great swing. You can use all fields, and that's the biggest thing with young guys.
Definitely. I think we've cracked the code on somebody else as well, and it's not good how it's come out, this code that we've cracked, and it's the Aaron Nola code. Yeah. Looked like a number 1 guy, looked like an ace. A lot of the scouts coming out of the draft said 3 to 4 to 5 starter in a rotation, probably middle of rotation guy. He seems like he just overachieved wildly for 1 year and now has violently crashed back down to earth.
Yeah, it's violent too. That's the perfect word for it, because it's like his struggles, like those moments of struggle for him are dramatic. Like it's a moonshot. Like he'll be cruising for 4 innings. He doesn't just give up a home runs. He gives up a 440-foot upper deck tank. And it's like you've seen it coming. It's like, oh, here we go. 2-strike count. He's got a runner in scoring position. Uh-oh. Bam. It's almost like the same situation keeps replaying itself over and over and over again. And he keeps having those little windows where he looks dominant and he gets you excited. And then that one pitch, whole outing's out the window. So I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing we have Zach Wheeler now. So I'm not as pressed to have an ace as I did going into last season, because now we have Zach. So I guess that takes a little bit of pressure off of his shoulders, but he's got to turn it up, man. He's got to be a little bit better. Team's ready to win.
I'm certainly hoping so as well. Now, I think you grew up in a similar mindset than I did when it comes to this Phillies team, and you mentioned the luxury tax. I never thought they'd go over the luxury tax.
Either.
Like I thought of all the things. Like I actually thought after Dave Montgomery, after he kind of became the owner emeritus of the team, I thought after that, like it would never happen in a million years that they would have one face of ownership as they do now with John Middleton and the way they do with the Buck cousins, right? Mm-hmm. But right now, I never thought I'd see that happen. It happened. Now they've gone over to luxury tax. It seems like finally the Phillies really do have a commitment to spend money on a lineup and a roster that will produce another World Series.
Yeah, and now that they've gone over the luxury tax, they're not done this year either. They're going to be super active at the deadline. Pretty much no matter how the first half shakes out, they're going to be active at the deadline this year. That's pretty much a foregone conclusion. It's the Bryce Harper effect, I think. Right? He's publicly been pressuring the front office to go out and get guys. I mean, the guy's tweeting. It's crazy. And he's not much of a social media guy, but he's hopping on Instagram, throwing stories up. I love it, though. I mean, keep feeding it to us. It's about time. We have the money to do it, so do it. Like you said, we didn't think we would ever do it, but not because we didn't have the money. We have the money. Mm-hmm. That's there.
I'm just eager to have that electricity back in the ballpark in late September, in October, obviously, that we have missed for so many years. And I'm with you. I think this team makes the playoffs. I think they do it as a wild card team. I say to hell with it. As the season goes on, they might even compete for the division. Yeah. But right now, I say they at least make the playoffs as that the extended playoff seating goes. Shelfy, before we let you go, my friend, we do like to do a thing on the show here called Fast Five. All right. Would you mind answering 5 fast questions here on the Farzy Show?
Absolutely.
Fire
me up.
Here, let's bring in the band. Fellas, ready? Here, we're going to get it going here. Are we ready to party? There we go. They're ready to go. All right. You guys are hot today. Ooh. All right. Best job before this job, Shelfy?
Ooh. McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's in high school, and I can't lie to you, free access to that food was awesome when I was 17 years old.
Before metabolism was a thing.
Metabolism, I was loving it.
Hey, look at you. I love it. All right, anyway. Now I swear this is why I was laughing so hard, other than the fact that it's just funny. Question number 2, go-to fast food place.
Go-to fast food place, Chick-fil-A.
Everybody's a Chick-fil-A guy.
You get your food with a smile. The customer service.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My father-in-law will choke somebody if they say no problem. He loves
Excuse me?
He'll choke them. Yeah, exactly. Of course it's not a problem. And now he's got me saying my pleasure. Anyway, here you go. Let's just picture this scene. Let's say you're out with a lovely young lady and you're on a first date. First date deal breaker. What is it? What is a first date deal breaker for you?
Cigarettes.
Ooh, good one.
Cigarettes for me.
I can't believe anyone still smokes. I mean, I have the occasional cigar.
Yeah, but 100%.
Cigarette.
Gotta get a nice Cuban from time to time for sure.
Ooh. Oh, very nice,
just carrying around a pack of cigs and just always having that smell. I can't do it. My parents are hardcore cigarette smokers, and that was it for me. Too much of it growing up.
I don't get it, my friend. Favorite city to travel to other than Wilmington?
You got me. Probably San Francisco.
Back-to-back answers, San Francisco. San Francisco.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
What's his name? McKinley Moore was a guest yesterday. Phillies' new prospect that they got in the Adam Hazley trade. He was on the show yesterday. Wow. He loves him in San Francisco.
Great views, man. Amazing views out there.
Great views. Wine country down the road, like an hour. And then just so much culture, just oozing, dripping with culture. Yep. Okay, last thing here. You seem like a swell guy, Shelfy. In traffic, what makes you beep your horn?
Ooh. If you get into the merge lane without using a turn signal, it drives me nuts. Stop you. The merge lane is not for you to get into. It's for us to get out of. And the fact that you didn't use a turn signal is just it's a double whammy. It's a double whammy.
You're absolutely right. I'm just amazed because McKinley Moore said the same thing yesterday.
No!
You guys are the same person. You got a beard and everything.
I got a beer.
Couple of brilliant guys. Let me just check with our statistician. Hank, did McKinley Moore say that? He did say that? Look at that. You guys are the same person. Although I will say you're more charming. You're a little bit more charming.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, guys. You can cut it. Thank you. Appreciate you. Shelfy, this was so much fun. Really appreciate talking to you, man. Have to have you on again soon. We'll talk some more baseball. All right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we got Shelfy joining us here on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. And make sure you guys, once again, check him out on Twitter, across all the social media platforms as well, including YouTube, and have yourself some fun with Shelfy. Shelfy, a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. The great Shelfy joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line.